It recognizes our belief in God, our country, not just individuals, our country, our founding fathers codified this in the documents that founded this country. Our reliance, our belief in God, and our reliance upon God. Of that, there's just no debate on that. You may like it, may not like it. Declaration of Independence, we find these truths to be self-evident, that we are endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable rights, of which are life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. It goes on in the Constitution to say we are putting together this Constitution in a preamble to secure the blessings, not only for ourselves, for posterity. And that Constitution followed with a Bill of Rights that enumerated those godly rights given to man, including the very first one, which was a right to believe in God and to express that belief anytime, anywhere, including the public square.
33 million. It's proven to the money investors that people want something to feed their souls, not just their worst desires.
Absolutely.
And
yes, indeed.
This kind of sums up my entire dialogue career on the heat of the night. You ready for this? Okay, this is it. My 7 years on the heat of the night. My dialogue all summarized in this. Get right on it, Chief.
Skinner, but above is my name. I like my iced tea sweet and my women the same. I'm your brown-haired badge here in little old Sparta, but nobody's bigger or tougher or smarter. If you're looking to fight, best not be with me. Gonna be held tight, well now we'll just see. You never know in the heat of the night on TNT. Heat of the night on TNT. Now I don't put on any airs, but then I ain't no slob. Just a redneck boy with a blue-collar job. The ladies I date, they gonna have them some fun, cause I'm a big hunk of crime fighting son of a gun. So if you're looking to fight, come on up in the ring. You wanna be held tight, just about anything can happen in the heat of the night on TNT. Heat of the night on TNT. Yeah.
You're listening to the Alan Autry Show on the best talk in town. Talk Radio 1550 KXEX. Call Alan now, 559-899-1550.
And welcome to Alan Autry No Retreat. So honored and humbled to have you with us today. Free for All Friday with Bullet Bob Leone. Welcome, Bullet.
Thank you.
And Triple G. What does Triple G stand for, you folks are asking? Go Guillermo. I monikered him with that. Welcome, Triple G.
Yeah. Honor to be here.
And it's sticking.
It is.
Some nicknames don't stick.
Yeah, they call me Triple G now.
Yeah. Hoss, they started calling me Hoss in 6th grade. It stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in Mayor's office, it was Doofus, and it stuck. Mayor Doofus stuck. Some things you just can't outrun. Hey, we got some breaking news, Guillermo. You're looking up there. Why don't you share with the folks who may care?
Steve Bannon convicted of criminal contempt. Breaking news. Stop what you're doing. You're going to remember where you were when Steve Bannon was convicted of what again? Criminal contempt
of Congress.
Oh,
that can't be good.
Yeah.
Well, I would convict him, but I would convict him on
not showering,
on not showering and wardrobe and
cut his hair.
Come on, you could try a little bit harder than that, Stephen. One thing about going into court: don't come in looking guilty.
Exactly. First rule if you're a defendant.
What makes you think I don't have contempt of Congress? Just look at me. Does this look like contempt of Congress? Contempt of Congress.
Oh,
if that was
my word.
if that were a chargeable offense, what would it be? 81 million Americans would be
Yeah,
indicted.
probably.
If they had contempt of Congress. All right, Bullet.
Ah.
We just got this, and Guillermo and listeners. What does this mean? What are they going to do? What's he facing?
Well, this means great ratings for CNN. It means 0 for the American people. Your gas prices will not go down.
Is he going to the big house?
Probably not. No, probably not.
So what do you think what's gonna be his
I probably think they're going to make him listen to an endless reel of Kamala Harris's laugh for about 3 years. The guy will die.
Put him in a minimum
They'll find
security
him
prison?
No, they'll find him hung in there. Bad enough. Suicide, not from the bench to old bed sheets. I can't. It can't be. I don't know what that.
They're saying like 30 days, I think.
So what do you know? How much? I'm not.
Yeah, they're saying 30 days. 30 days.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. 30 days.
30 days for what? Contempt of Congress?
Yeah, you're the expert.
I'm
on
looking at it. Yeah, it says
What-
30-day. Fox is saying.
What did he do to show contempt?
He didn't. He decided not to go.
Oh, they called him in. and
Yeah,
went
oh, yeah,
to-
he
'cause
was-
My depth of knowledge
was
on
like-
the subject.
They had
is
him
not-
subpoenaed, didn't they?
Yeah, he was subpoenaed. He decided not to go. And that's my extent.
Hell
of-
no, I won't go.
But
I'll be.
all right, let me ask you
I have
about. You
not followed
it.
an iota of this January 6th thing.
Well, let's just spend just a couple more minutes with it.
Sure.
Because his name is out there.
Good
If
guy.
you
He's a
listen
nice
to
guy.
Okay, have you had him on the show?
I've never had him on the show, but I have a very good friend that has him. He talks pretty frequently with him.
Okay. Well, the main accusation from the left on this guy, why he's a threat to democracy, is they say he wants to burn down all the institutions and just tear everything down. That's what I kept hearing on.
So basically, he's a conservative.
Yeah, well, the Build Back Better deal is tear everything down. You can't build back anything unless you tear it down. But I mean, is there any truth to that? I mean, I don't follow the guy that much.
You know, there were a couple of individuals in the Trump administration that I wouldn't have liked. He was definitely one of them. I think the other guy was it Miller? Just kind of looked like a weasel. Just kind of
Yeah,
weird.
he's smart.
He's smart.
He is smart.
But he was.
the bald head gets there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think the first time I saw him, I was on some TV show and they had him there in the three guest panelists, and he's on there, and I'm looking, and I don't judge a book by its cover, but I'm just being honest with you folks. I promise you that. I look at him going, oh, look at this guy. I mean, what does he know?
Yeah.
Why am I making that judgment just on his looks? And that's horrible. We should never do that because it came to him, and he bloviated very well.
Mm-hmm.
And I forget what the subject was, but he was very knowledgeable, very inspiring. So you didn't like him?
Smart guy, but again, I feel like Cassidy Hutchinson. I have a friend who has a friend that has a friend that knows him, and he said he wasn't very nice.
That Miller wasn't nice.
Yeah, he was not.
So
wasn't a nice
when
guy.
did nice mean something to you? It doesn't.
It doesn't at all. But you can't be like overly mean, which Trump is not.
Huh?
Which Trump is not.
Huh? I just want to get that for the record.
Off the record.
Didn't Trump? Now that's a little inside joke from before the show started. The off the record comments. Didn't Trump dump him pretty early though? Bannon was in the administration.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah. He was in the administration. Dumped him pretty well. I would say what was about a couple. No, might have done a year. I mean, he was in there. Listen, everybody that Trump surrounded himself with had strong personalities. I mean, they weren't. They were no pushovers. I mean, they all had strong personalities.
Navarro.
Yeah, Navarro, him, Kushner, Miller.
Why didn't they put the handcuffs on Navarro the same ones they put on AOC? No, aren't they supposed to be standard issue?
Standard issue. Yep.
Just thought I'd throw it in. Go ahead. I didn't mean to.
But no, this whole thing, it's not going to mean anything because people don't care about January 6th. I've said it on my show. Trump, they could find the audio tape. I mean, they could find the smoking gun where Trump said, "Let's go. I hope they burn it down. Burn it all down. I don't care. Burn it down. Let's go now. Keep going. Keep walking in. Yes, I like it. Mike Pence is a loser. I've started this. Even if they had that audio.
So uncanny. I'm already starting to see orange hair instead of your jet black hair that you have right now. That's how good that imitation.
That wasn't bad.
There you go. The American people could hear that audio, and I bet you they'd be like, "Eh,
yeah,
all right." Nobody cares about this.
Yeah, I think what happened with Bannon when he got fired is, and I'm half kidding here. I think Ivanka said we can't have anybody, Daddy, that looks like that dresses like that. I can't stand on the same podium with him.
Yeah,
you want me to go do this press conference with him? I can't stand.
So he was terminated
to that.
due to poor wardrobe.
I think so.
Oh, okay.
You didn't buy the Trump
Well, if you have anything to weigh in on this, I mean,
No, I don't.
Okay.
Steve Bannon is the furthest thing from my mind, and always has been.
All right. Bannon, where do I know that? Wasn't there a character on TV named Bannon?
Banyan.
Bannon, wasn't it
Bunyan.
Bannon? Paul Bunyan? Paul Bunyan? Anyway.
Hey, I got some breaking news. Well, it's not really breaking news.
Can we get then we'll go right to you. But
Okay.
we just got to give our well wishes out to Joe Biden. He's got COVID, and I don't wish, we've expressed on this show and on your show, Guillermo, our dissatisfaction. I'm being kind here with these horrible policies that has resulted in America being probably, no, I'm going to erase the probably. Clearly, the weakest this country has been in my lifetime, domestically, economically, on the world stage, you name it.
Mm-hmm.
And his policies have contributed greatly to that demise. But he's sick, and I don't wish anybody any ill will, either health. So our get wells go out to Biden, but that kind of can't help but thinking, Pearl, and we'll get to your subject. The guy got up there and said, "Get vaccinated, and you won't get COVID." Fauci said this early on with the first vaccine.
Oh yeah,
get the vaccine, and you won't get COVID. And they proceeded. We know how that turned out. You have to get a second one. The guy, Joe Biden, the president, has had 2 full vaccinations and 4 boosters. Which begs the question. I mean, you have the first shot that you don't have any knowledge or information on the long-term possible negative effects on your body from that. We didn't have the data. We'd have to just find out. So then you take a second one, they're telling everybody, on a shot that you don't know how the long terms. Then you take a booster on 2 shots that you don't know the long-term effects. You take a second booster that you don't know the 2 shots and the booster's long-term effects, a third one and a fourth one. And I'm left thinking, man, could there be too much of this stuff? Could this be what's making him sick? See, there I go. I'm going to get canceled. But doesn't that cross your mind? Be serious, folks. Has that not crossed your mind when you heard that he's had 2 shots and 4 freaking boosters, that there might be too much vaccine for a 79-year-old body to handle?
Could be. I'm living proof that the vaccines, I took the first 2 and the booster, and I still got COVID. Mm-hmm. Now, the symptoms were relatively minor. Had a stuffy head. Some people say that's natural for me. Had a stuffy head. Really, the biggest thing was just being very tired. And that lasted probably 5 or 6 days. Now, I had to stay off for 10 days because at the time I was working, and that was our protocol. But I would hope that the shots that I did take, the vaccines I did take, lessened the severity of the potential illness.
Rapid Robert, I hear what you're saying, and that could be the case. But I'm putting this together for discussion. What he's just described as his symptoms were very mild.
Right.
Few days and you're back on your feet. That was the MO of over 85% of the cases before the vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
So
yes,
the exact same thing. They were mild, and most people were asymptomatic, means no symptoms. So how can they say that it's the vaccinations that are making the symptoms if you get COVID, which you weren't supposed to get? And you wonder why I was cautious early on this show. And before I got on this show, I took a lot of heat for saying, listen, do not take what the CDC says with the gospel. They're a government agency. Mm-hmm. There's politics imbued into that science. There's a lot of politics in there. Be very cautious. Don't before you take what Fauci says as gospel. But what do you think it could be? What's your thoughts on this?
I was
because I didn't know he had 4 boosters.
Yeah, I was
that's a boost.
I was punted. He's boosted to the max. I was pontificating the other day, and I was like, you know what? The reality and the facts always seem to crash into the Democrat narrative because they really do. You know what? Hey, Joe Biden's going to be good for America. Well, it doesn't turn out that's going to be the truth. Yeah. This Green New Deal, everyone needs to just buy electric, Green New Deal, stop doing gas guzzling. Like, wait a minute. Yeah, that's not turning out how it was supposed to. Or what about high-speed rail? Yeah, that's not turning out how it was supposed to. And then when Joe Biden got COVID, it was one of those things where like, well, wait a minute. How does that happen to him? Because for the longest time, they kept pushing the vaccines. They said that this was going to save everyone. This was the key. And yet reality happens to just hit the left right in the face. You see this time and time again. They will trumpet anything they want until America realizes, oh, wait, they found out. Oh, yeah. It's okay. Let's shift and move. Squirrel, shift and move. It's like that is the MO. That's why Biden. You realize that when Biden had he had gotten diagnosed, he went on the porch of the White House, whatever you want to call it, and he did a video like, "Hey, don't worry, your president's all right. I got up this morning. I was okay. I was eating my Cheerios. I was working the whole time.
That's right.
And I'm doing good.
Yeah.
And
I fell off that bike on purpose.
Yeah,
show you how tough I was.
Yeah. And
see me get back up.
And then he leaned. Here's the deal. We can do it. They're gonna do it. Come on, man. I'm gonna survive.
Yeah.
He wanted to do that because they know that when they go down something and they trumpet these inconsistent facts or they trumpet lies to the American people and they get caught, they got to double down. So Joe's gonna double down. I bet you after this he's gonna say, "Thank God I was boosted. Thank God I had the fourth boost. This is why you need to have 4.5." It's.
And if something worse happens, they'll come up. But Bobby,
well,
your thoughts?
You covered a lot of subjects.
I did, and nothing at the same time.
You got to be careful when you ask a 70-year-old when you're talking about subjects for his thoughts. You go, "Yeah, when are the real McCoys coming back?"
I'm on one track, and that's a very
I missed him on
very
TV.
short track.
What do you think about this subject here? Guillermo he covered a lot of territory there.
Yeah, he did.
Them Nims.
Yeah, he did. And
I never blame them.
I like your visual though. Facts and reality comes crashing into the narrative.
Yeah.
Just like the
Facts are those.
like a heat-seeking missile, man.
Yeah.
well, I like especially how the attempt to spin a terrible situation into a positive situation. You related to.
Mm-hmm.
And one of those that I just reading this morning, Pete Buttigieg, our favorite.
Is he back from maternity leave yet?
Department of Transportation.
He's out there fixing those racist highways.
Well, he said, hey,
While holding his baby.
Yeah.
he said that the high gas prices.
Not here on maternity leave doing my job. Don't tell me I don't work. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Silly.
He
Bam.
said that the high gas prices were actually beneficial for transitioning to electric vehicles.
I saw that.
And so I did a quick Google of cost of electric vehicles. There may be some that are cheaper, but the number that popped up in front of me was $55,600 for an electric vehicle.
How much?
55.6.
Oh, yeah.
Now I don't know what kind
Average
of
American.
what kind of exactly. I don't know what kind of model that is. I don't know what kind of all the bells and whistles you get with that. Hopefully it'll start. But he thought that the high gas prices were a positive thing.
I saw that
And
clip.
again, that goes back to your spin,
Yeah.
your notice of the spin, taking a terrible situation, trying to spin it into something better, and still making a comment that makes no sense.
Yeah, and it's the visual of that people use to their advantage, particularly the Democratic Party, and it's getting to be a theater of the absurd.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Buttigieg looks a cuddly, lovable guy.
Yeah.
Talks nice, this and that. And if you listen to what he says, I saw that clip, and he says with glee in his eyes, he was given a question, what do you think about people, $8 a gallon? He said, well, as Bobby said, it's a positive. He says this could quicken those who can get electric vehicle. Notice the phrasing. Those who can get, meaning they can afford a $55,000 car.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at that going, do the poor people that this party purports to represent and protect, the poorest of the poor, for decades they've been, as they ushered in welfare and made more people even poorer, and lied to them, had their kids trapped in their zip code, couldn't go to the school, a successful school. They were trapped in a failing school, telling the poor people, hey, we're watching your back. We got your back. Yeah, they're watching your back with a big knife in your back. And they see that and they hear that. Can't they understand the underlining elitism in that comment?
No.
Those who can get an electric vehicle. And he's smiling, never addressing what that $8 a gallon means to individuals on fixed income. Those, as they always bring out, the single mother with two kids, all of the demographics that the Democrats depend on to show up on election day to keep them in office, who they have betrayed for decades. When are these folks going to wise up? I think the Hispanic community has.
Yeah.
And I think the African American community has by and large, and that's why you're seeing this move. And I'm not saying go from the Democratic Party folks out there to the Republican Party. You don't have to do that.
I'm saying that.
Guillermo's saying that.
I'll say it.
Go become an independent. Don't let anybody own you. I became an independent. No, don't let any political party own your vote because they'll take it for granted. Become an independent. Make them work for that vote. Make them come through on their promises. Make them say what they mean and mean what they say and walk their talk. You can do that. Hey, let's go to Bert on line 1 here. Bert's got a vaccine, and we'll come back to Triple G. You were ready to...
We lost Bert.
We lost Bert?
Bert, call back.
Bert, okay. Bert, if you're there, call back. Okay, let's take a quick break. Go ahead.
Alan, have you ever been poor?
Oh, gosh. I was po. I couldn't afford the other O in the word poor.
And when you hit it on the nail, man, right now when you said, this party, and the right too, some individuals on the right, they pretend that, man, they're fighting for the poor person. They're fighting for the poor person. They've never been poor before. They don't know what it means. How many times have we not heard the Biden administration, Jean-Pierre, say, the president knows how you feel? Like, no, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't.
Let's be real. The reason why they're so disconnected
90% of them don't.
is because they don't know. They don't know. I know how it feels because I was poor. We lived in government house. My mom used to pay $24 a month of rent when I was younger in Kerman. We were poor, food stamps. But I'll tell you what, and I'll tell anybody this, I wouldn't change my upbringing for the world.
Amen, brother.
I wouldn't change it at all.
Amen, brother.
But these politicians, and listen, here's the other thing. The politicians like to, Joe, Scranton Joe. Man, I'm Scranton Joe. I lived in the poorest of the poor. My dad lost his job. Man, it was tough. And we have a lot of great middle class. We're talking about the poor. Now let's talk about the middle class. Because there's a lot of great middle class families that aren't poor, but let me tell you, they're becoming poor and they're really having to stretch. You did the electric vehicle thing. I've been in this world for the last 2 days. I was looking at subsidies for electric vehicles. They don't apply to middle class families. You earn a certain amount, you ain't going to get a subsidy.
You don't get it.
You don't get it. So the poor need help. The middle class need help. The successful are becoming less successful in this type of economy. I did a show this morning, and they said, listen, why in the heck would you ever want to start a business? You need to understand that the California state legislature hates businesses. If you understand they hate businesses and they hate landlords, you'll understand everying coming out of Sacramento.
Absolutely.
I rest my case, Your Honor.
Well, no, as mayor for 8 years.
I could have got Steve Bannon off.
Yeah. Yeah, just get him a new order.
Here's a Dove bar.
You don't need to get him off.
Here's a Dove bar. Just shower, buddy.
Take him down there to Sport Clips, cut his hair, shave him, and then get some new duds on him over there at Dick's Sportswear, whatever.
All right, I'm sorry.
No, you're right. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, who
knows where we're going to
go? They arrested AOC, and she did an amazing magic act. She was handcuffed behind her back, and was able in just like a half a second, raise her right arm and wave to the crowd, and put her hands back in their handcuffs. This woman is special.
Harry Houdini couldn't do that.
This woman, very Houdini. She is special. We got to watch out for her. This is Alan Autry. No, we tweet. We'll be right back.
Martin off Dire Street.
Is that money for and chicks or checks for free?
Chicks.
Chicks for free.
Yeah. Well, you're
It's
a rock
chicks.
star. You can get all the chicks.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I've never been a rock star. I don't know. I'm just saying Probably how it happens.
I don't even drink Rockstar, so I don't know.
I've never had one.
Have you been able to lift Clint?
Well,
You got Make My Day? You do have it? Okay.
I thought
I'm
you
gonna
meant
come back with it.
Clint Olivier.
those were great movies.
Oh,
Clint is a great guy.
I know what you're thinking. Has he fired 7 shots or only 6? But tell you the truth, in all this confusion, I've kind of lost track myself.
The question is, do you feel lucky, punk?
Well, do you? Punk. Considering this is a .357 Magnum, most powerful handgun known to man, blowing your head clean off.
Those are so good.
I got a picture of AOC's fake cuffs, too.
Oh, there it is. Oh, Jeremy, you're unbelievable. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that cop abusing her.
Really?
He's holding her pretty tight.
What's up with that guy?
Excessive force.
Hey, I've been wanting to say this since I got on here. That intro with Al Michaels doing the call of the 1980 U.S.
Miracle on Ice.
Miracle on Ice. A lot of people forget that was for the third place game. That was the third place game.
No way. I didn't know that.
The winner of that was against Russia. The winner of that game went on to play Sweden for the gold medal. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people say, "Oh, that was a great." Well, it was only for the third place game because the winner went to play Sweden. Yeah. You're right. It was Sweden.
Bunch of little college kids playing against the and that's
Soviet, I don't know why I thought of that. All
the Soviet team. No, I thought about that too. And
they were
the opening is long, but I don't know what soundbite would you take out.
Oh, you got to have. Do you believe in miracles?
Yeah, I go down the thing, and I'm going to take. I've been to the Promised Land, and I don't want to.
Oh, you mean with the other intro stuff?
Oh, yeah, I don't want to be up there with St. Peter and him saying, during the intro back at KXAX, you left all the secular stuff in there, and you took out our brother Martin's
I think he'd
quote.
Probably forgive you. I don't know.
It's so inspiring. I really love your intro.
I tell you, when I get to heaven, I am bringing my knee pads.
1 minute.
I'm going to be on my knees begging, man.
But when you get, you're already going to be there.
Huh? Yeah, we get Jesus is our intercessor. Jesus is our lawyer, and he's I get it.
If you were a Catholic, you'd learn how to.
But you got to sit there and hear it, though. Probably got to hear it. Well, hear it, but we have a Savior, and it's like, I don't know who that's going to be. That'd be an interesting conversation to get a good theologian in here and say, what? Does Scripture give any indication of how heaven's going to be, how that judgment day, if you've made it?
Next Thursday, we'll have a theologian here.
Okay, let's do that.
This guy he's not human.
What? Now you're scaring me. Oh, yes. Yeah.
10 seconds?
He is good. But we need to question him. He had some questions about Seventh-day Adventists.
Yeah, did you hear that?
Yes, I did. I go, now, wait a minute. Back off, Jack.
I almost took him off.
You're listening to the Alan Autry Show on the best talk in town. Talk Radio 1550 KXEX. Call Alan now. 559-899-1550.
Something. Oh, yeah. Just a little more, Jeremy. Well, we're going to get muted on Facebook, but hey. Sweet baby. Not talking about you, Guillermo. Don't you think maybe we can find us a brand new recipe? All right. AOC got arrested out there protesting with the people and handcuffed apparently with invisible handcuffs. As we said before the show, not the same handcuffs they put on Peter Navarro, obviously.
Or me the time I got arrested.
I look at this and, you ever see a movie that is just so bad that you cringe? They call it cringe-worthy shows.
Yes.
And the acting, not the movies that are meant to be partial in nature. I mean, it's ones that are really trying to be serious. And
like, why they make that? Like, who paid for that?
Yeah.
Why is that even?
Well, I actually saw Eric Estrada trying to act one time on Chips. You just do it. And I don't mean anything, Eric. He's a great guy. But you don't go on there and act like it's NYPD Blue. It's a whole different genre. It's Chips. And he was in there, and one of the People
I
were
love
dying.
that show.
Well, I did too, but every once in a while he would step out
He and Larry Wilcox.
and
They did a
actually
great
try to
job.
go for an Emmy, and you don't get an Emmy on Dukes of Hazzard or Chips or whatever.
What's Chips?
And it was,
No, I'm joking. I know.
do you know what it is? Or you just say that?
Yeah, no.
Highway Patrol.
I would try the two guys.
But he was. I think somebody was dying in a car accident or something. He's over there, and they have this dialogue to us. And at the end, you're saying to the guy, "Will you just please die, Eric?" I mean, it's supposed to be, Eric's got the fake tears down there. The makeup people have that fake tears. You're in the business, you got to know. And it's time for Eric's close up. He's trying to work the tears, can't get there. Well, they get these fake tears in your eye. So
they stopped.
they'd cut to him, to the guy dying on the ground, then back to Eric, and you got these fake. A half a second later, he was totally dry, nothing. Then you tuck back and he's all the way down these, and it was just cringy. And I see AOC, but you know what? Let's go, because we'll hold AOC, because our callers, no offense to AOC, but our callers are a little bit more important to
Yes,
I would say
KXEX
so.
Yes.
than her. And let's go first to Bert and Debbie. You're on there. You hang on. And Bert, are you there? Bert? Did Bert get cut off again?
Yes.
Oh, there's Bert.
I'm here.
How you doing, brother? You had a comment on the COVID thing we were talking about?
Yeah. So my question was just, I don't know if you know, but the Bible says, "Yes, I am." Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We hear you good.
We got you, Bert. Yeah.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Doing good. What's on?
The one thing is that one thing I want you guys to understand, and I think everybody needs to understand, is this COVID issue that we've had for the last year or so. Hosea 4:6 says, "My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge." Yeah, the Bible says that.
Yeah.
People are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
Absolutely.
And one thing is that we have to understand is that we just got to keep trusting God and believing God for what He's doing for us. And I think what's going on right now in the world today is we're believing a lie from the government and what's happening in everything that's going on, and not relying on what God has for us. So I believe that God has given us, as a sincerity of heart, to be able to trust God and believe Him, that no matter what we go through in life, that He will always be there for us.
Mm-hmm. That's called
And I
hope.
believe
That's why we
where
have
we're
hope.
at right now.
Yeah. You mentioned.
And,
go ahead, Bert. Sorry.
go ahead.
Well, you talked about knowledge. We're living in a unprecedented era. There's more knowledge available out there at our fingertips than ever before. But the accumulation of knowledge, how much knowledge, stuff that you know inside your head, and I ask myself, does it really matter if that knowledge isn't the pursuit of truth in that knowledge the most important thing? Because knowledge and truth are not the same thing at all. And it's so becoming harder and harder to wade through this sea of knowledge, all this, and finding the truth.
That's the thing, is that when we started seeing, when Trump was our president, we started seeing the prosperity in the things that were happening in the world today, in the United States. People were being blessed by what was going on with what was going on in the world, which was he was, bringing back prosperity into the country and bringing America back to where we should be established under God.
Mm-hmm.
And so what happens is that when you start putting those things in, you factor in all those things. And what I mean by Hosea 4:6, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. What I'm saying is that we'd rather believe a government who comes in after him and puts this fear in people and corrupts the people's mind and heart, instead of believing what God has said in the Word of God.
Right. Exactly. And, that's why on this show, I hit it so often. Robert and I were raised, and Guillermo, you may have, even at your tender age, may remember a time in America where the educational institutions encourage what they call critical thinking. Here's a proposition, here's a theory, and you're to ask questions. The Socratic method of just asking questions. That's what science is based upon. And now that's being discouraged. In fact, the far left, the woke left, is totally against that. They don't want you to do to have critical thinking because they want to dictate what you think. They don't want you to have personal freedoms because they want to dictate where you go, the decisions that you make in your personal activity. So, as you said, you hit the nail on the head. I think with all of this knowledge, all of this so-called information, which is just it's just voluminous in nature. It's coming at you. This study, that study, this from the CDC, just totally overwhelmed with this so-called knowledge when it's not really, as you said, not really knowledge at all. It's just a bunch of jumbled ideas that is crammed into your brain, and then it's left up to us to try to find the truth. And back in the day, when the media had a little bit more sense of responsibility to report the news, there were still some slanted articles, but not nearly like today. They reported the news. You know what I'm talking about. And there was not this effort to go after, for goodness sakes, critical thinking. This country was based on the freedom to think and act as we chose. And we're living, that's why I said, in unprecedented times when you have this crazy, insane, unconscionable ideology saying, let's just, fake. You know why I think they got so offended at fake news with Trump? I got to take up for Trump on this. When you've been exposed, when somebody's been exposed, one of the first of doing something like this, it's one of your core things that you use. You get mad, you get angry, and you want to kill. You want to kill that messenger because it goes to the core of what they do. In this case, which is lie to the people to get your agenda pushed forward. Yeah,
very true. And I want to talk about what Bert said very early on. And he said, we got to get back to the Word. We got to read the Bible. There's a war on Christianity in this country. It really is. And when you talk about, hey, turn to the Bible, the government wants to be the Bible. Like, no, we know everything. You need to listen to us. You need to follow our instructions and what we're telling you. Don't be looking at that book. And it might not be that outright, but when you really think about it, look at gun control, right? We say, our thoughts and our prayers. To a Christian, a prayer that
means a lot.
Yeah,
that's big stuff.
And I get really irritated when I hear someone say,
where you're going with this.
Your thoughts and prayers are not enough.
Frivolous.
Yeah. Well. Hey, hold on, way back. You don't know the power of prayer.
Speak for yourself, brother.
Yeah. So there's a war in this country on Christianity, but I'm going to put it on the Christians as well, because we as Christians have to do a better job. And here in Fresno, and we're very close with the Christian community. Sometimes churches can be big business, and it's
absolutely
politics.
Correct.
Unfortunately,
it's a huge problem.
It is. Politics has infected every aspect of life. And I'm going to start where Bert started. You just got to read the Word, man. You got to get back.
Bert, I appreciate you calling in, brother. Go ahead. Final comment, Bert. We got to go to Debbie here, but we appreciate you.
I'm sorry.
No, you don't be sorry.
Give you something that
you go right ahead.
Says in the Word of God, where you were talking about the gas. This is a quick scripture that I want to give you guys. The Bible says there is precious treasure and oil in the house of the wife, who prepare for their future. He said, but a short-sighted and foolish man swallows it up and wastes it. That's where we are right now with this gas price.
Bert,
preach it.
Thank you for the wisdom, my brother.
We have a president who does not know how to prepare for the future.
Appreciate you, Bert.
Yeah.
Very good words here for the weekend. Thank you, Bert. Appreciate you. Hey, God bless you, my brother.
Thank you, buddy.
Let's go to Debbie on line 1.
Appreciate you, Bert. Very good.
I just heard myself in my ear.
You sound good.
Sound like an old Okie.
You do not sound.
Who was that?
Because I am an old Okie. See, I don't get afraid.
All right, Debbie, turn down your radio. There you go.
Okay. Debbie, are you there?
Yeah, hi. How are you?
Well, better than I deserve as always. You got a personal story about these gas prices?
Yeah. I went out yesterday. It's been so hot here in Cincinnati that, it's disgusting.
Debbie, now come on, Debbie. You're not going to get any sympathy from here. We've had 105 for the last 10 days.
107.
But you know what you all have, though? Debbie, you all have the humidity.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right.
You walk outside, you got to shower again.
I'll let you complain a little bit more because I get you. I've lived in the Midwest.
You walk outside, you look like Steve Bannon.
Yeah.
I got a burr up my butt yesterday.
I hate those burrs up the butt, man. Go ahead.
And it has no air conditioning. It has, and it's a gas guzzler. So I decided to take it out yesterday for a little while, and I thought, well, I'll put some fresh gas in it because it's been sitting for You know, we haven't been racing, so it's been sitting for a while. So I go down to this gas station. I take it for a little ride, and the gas tank is behind the license plate in the back, and I'm bent down, and I look up, and I see some people pushing this car off the exit ramp into this gas station. And here it's an electric car that crapped right there on the exit ramp by the expressway. And there's 4 or 5 people helping this woman push this car over.
Boy.
And this is a little bitty town where I'm at. There's no charging stations down there. Good grief. You know, it's a half a mile away from the drag strip. Yeah, there's going to be some charging stations there, you know.
Man. They've really
anyway,
thought thought this thing out, haven't they?
So I'm putting the gas in this hog of mine, you know, and this woman has the gall to come over to me as her car won't even run, and she says, people like you are the reason we have to go to what we're going to. She said, this gas hog of yours ought to be banned from the expressway or banned from the road.
Oh,
don't you
and
love
I looked
folks
at her
like that?
and I said, are you out of your mind? And
I'm
she
getting
said,
triggered already.
yes. She said, you're polluting. She said, you're polluting. And she says, God only knows what it costs to fill this up, blah, 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 blah. And this gas station is pretty big. It's got a little store in it, but it's got a pretty big lot. She made me so mad that when she finally walked away from me, that I did the biggest burnout I've ever done in my life.
Guillermo, you are Guillermo's good
America.
side there, Debbie. Well, I appreciate that.
I love it.
Appreciate that story, Debbie. Oh man, thank you so much. We got quite a few callers there. If you don't mind, I'm going to go to James. And but Debbie, thank you for that story. Appreciate you so much. Oh, man. You know what? I'm afraid of electric cars. You're going to be in there and you're going to short out like a microwave. And you're going to be in that car and you just short out and all of a sudden you just start smoking air sticking straight up. Everybody ever thought about that?
Yeah.
You decide that all electric car, you go in there and open it up one day, you know, then you're done.
Well, they have had a few of them burn up, haven't they?
Well, if you'd listened to Trump when he went after Musk on that tweet,
Yeah.
says, let's go to James.
He should have made him beg.
James, Longview, Texas. How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing okay, Alan. I just want to ask you your thoughts on Steve Bannon getting found guilty contempt of Congress. Do you think that guy will actually do a day of prison time?
I think probably, yeah, they'll. I think the Attorney General, well, he's been convicted. I don't know who sentenced him. Well, I don't even know how that works. I haven't been following the story a lot, James, to be truthful with you. On something like this, they'll probably do a symbolic time. And you know what? I think Bannon probably wants it because I think it further, makes him a rock star.
Oh, yeah.
To serve a little,
He's
little
on,
time for you. What do you think?
He's on America's Voice. I have a good friend that's on America's Voice network. And so, yeah, I mean, it's
he's where AOC wishes she could be. She's just saying, you know, I want to do an offense. You know, I want to do an
her
offense.
up again, huh?
Well, she's going, listen, she's, I got to get in jail. I got to get my back street cred back. You know, I've been to these, these balls now with my gown and everything. She's getting some heat in her district. So I got to go to jail, but I want it to be, it can't be Rikers. I don't know, man. I got to be in one where, they got the makeup there and I have my own personal makeup person come in and do my hair.
Yeah.
What offense can I do to make sure I go to prison, but it's, my kind of prison.
Look at Martha Stewart. She got scared.
Yes.
She got scared straight.
Martha Stewart. That would be the one she would go. Martha Stewart was treated like she was feeding everybody in there, including the guards, giving them recipes. She didn't.
Hold on.
Come on.
Yeah, for sure. But
and they just put a disguise on her, and when she wanted to go to the mall, they just slapped a disguise on her, took her out shopping, going to the movie. Kidding me?
I want to, and to respond to his comment, I want to see Bannon serve. You know why? It doesn't matter how long. I actually want to see him serve. And I think it's a bogus claim, contempt of whatever. I want to see him serve time because when you look at all the Trump people that have served some time, right? They've been convicted. They've served time. Eventually, we have to get to the left. And to be fair, we're going to have to look into some of Hunter Biden's connections. Absolutely. We're going to have to look into all these people. Look at Hillary Clinton's lawyer. He got off. So I want to be fair. I hope Steve Bannon, the law is the law. All right. And there's no emotion in the law. If my guy's super right and I like him, the law is the law. I just want it to be fair. Steve Bannon serves time. Come November, if we find people and they're in contempt for what we want, same thing.
I just want him to join that shave club that they have on there. An infomercial guy.
Harry's.
There's no excuse to look. Hey, I'm one to talk. I get it, folks. But come on.
Get a weed whacker. Do what you gotta do, man.
Shave, become presentable. I mean, I really, that's a big, I look at him, I go, you really want people to listen to you? I mean, what's your message? What are you trying to say coming out looking like that? I mean, you want to look like you're homeless out there and
What,
you know,
what
it's obvious. You know, I can.
What do you think of me?
What?
What do you think of me?
You look great.
Oh.
What, compared to Steve Bannon?
Well, no, I mean, I got the beard's kind of out of control
I've
today,
thought this.
but-
I got to be honest.
You've thought about it.
I think you know, some of the stuff he said I agree with, but you got to be able to sell your ideas, and I just don't get his point. And coming down, shirt unbuttoned to here, hair, yeah, who are you? I'm the president's advisor. Yeah, the closest advisor. Come on, smell my armpit.
Hey, Farley.
Yes. I'm
Like
being
the old
totally
prospector.
serious about this.
Okay.
And I wish somebody close to Bannon would tell him, you know, because he's got a lot of hair for an old guy.
Like he's going to listen to somebody.
Quaff that thing down, get your little Michael Landon going, shave. You know, but you don't have to. Anyway,
Quaff.
Let's go to Laura. Let's go
Quaff.
to Laura.
I've never heard of
Laura. You there? You there, Laura?
Oh, my.
Are you there, Laura? Laura Fisher.
Laura Fisher.
Laura Fisher. My
Tell
precious Laura. Are you there? Precious
Here.
Laura. Precious Laura. Oh, there she is. There's that beautiful voice. What you got for us, girl?
Okay, so I was in the Moderna vaccine trial. They send me data all the time. And basically, at the end of the day, everybody needs to understand this is not a vaccination. It is like a flu shot. It's simply a mitigating tool to prevent you from dropping dead from COVID if you have comorbidities.
Okay. That's the best definition I've heard.
Yeah.
Honest
And
definition.
that's the reality. It is the reality. And the thing is that people need to stop being so terrified of COVID, because as these variants continue to morph and become, as they say, resistant to vaccine, they also become weaker, unlike the flu. Because what happens with it is as it continues to evolve and the strains begin to change and they run out of hosts, it gets weaker and weaker and weaker as it goes. So even if you haven't been vaccinated, if you're an overall healthy person, if you contract BA5, you're just going to have a nasty cold for about 10 days, period. That's it.
What about
If
Laura?
you are a very ill person like my dad, then, yeah, you need to go and get those shots to keep you alive. But anyone else, don't do it. Don't bother.
Laura, real quick, what's your thoughts on the, and Pearl, Bobby, I want your thoughts as well, on this B5 variant that's apparently resistant to any of the vaccines, and also natural immunity doesn't seem to affect it. It's just able to burrow in there and do its nefarious thing.
But only a booster can help
Yeah,
it.
but
No, I mean, what's your take? What have you heard about that? The B5?
what they sent me for BA5 isn't even as strong as Omicron.
Okay, all right. No, that's what I wanted to hear. Okay, that's the article I read was trying. Yeah, the article I read was trying to scare the dickens out of folks about the B5. Okay, I'll trust you rather than the article.
Yeah, heck yeah.
This administration, every bit of messaging that you're going to get from this administration, and I don't mean this in a derogatory manner, but have you ever seen those little things on Facebook? Those little things where you can say, take this test to see, what kind of animal you are.
Oh yeah,
And
I'm scared of those.
Okay.
I'm scared. I don't take those.
Those are actually sociological tests that are done by different groups, research groups, universities, and so forth, because they want to test the intellectual capabilities of the American people.
I really
and
don't want to
bad
take that
news
test.
for you. 130 million people are not smarter than a fifth grader, according to these tests. So this administration is using that algorithmic data to send out their messaging. So
Okay,
when you
wow.
get spoken to like you're an idiot, it's because 130 million people in this country apparently reportedly are. Those are the ones they're talking to.
That's so true.
Oh man!
I
Hey, Laura,
resemble that remark.
what I got you on the line here? Just your thoughts. The president apparently took a Pfizer. I don't know the name of it, but it's a therapeutic from Pfizer. But interestingly, this therapeutic the data has shown to rebound that you can rebound on it. 50% of the people take it, they feel a little bit better, but then they rebound back and the symptoms are worse than they were before. Why would he take Pfizer and not Moderna? Or is there a Moderna? Does Moderna even have the boosters? I don't know. I only took one.
Moderna doesn't have any type of antiviral medication in that manner. They strictly are dealing with the vaccine.
Okay.
But even if they were, the fact that the Biden family's invested in Pfizer might have something to do with it.
Are they really?
You know.
Are they invested in
They
that?
are.
Oh my!
Don't you remember from the Anthony Blinken report how many people are invested in Pfizer in our government?
Well, I tell you, that's
you know, you talk about electric vehicles and, you know, this median $55,000 price. That's nothing compared to the fact that the batteries only have a 4 to 6 year lifespan and they cost 2/3 the amount of the vehicle.
Yeah. I read that too.
But they don't talk about that.
Yeah.
You know,
and the damage that's being done to this planet, you know, we're all so worried about climate change. Well, you're going to do 10 times the amount of damage going after the minerals needed to make these EV batteries.
Exactly.
See, I don't understand why they don't, learn from history. You go back during the transition from the horse and buggy to the automobile. They did it slowly. It was not unusual to be in cities where you'd see, the cars, the very early cars going down the street, and the horses in there, and you didn't all of a sudden say, okay, you got to go get a vehicle right now. Get off of that horse because the horse is farting too much and messing up the atmosphere. And you didn't put out all the harness salesmen, all the saddle makers, all of the folks that provide and feed for the horses. The whole economy was based around the horse being the transportation, and they did it over the course of time. They transitioned into the automobile. Why in the world can't they do that with the fossil fuel burning vehicles and the electric vehicles, of which we couldn't support it if we were all able to transition tomorrow? The grid can't support it. The grid. I had a blackout.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
To the 8 emails that I sent you.
Yeah.
And go all the way back to Build Back Better when I sent you that really long email about the energy issues that I had with the Build Back Better. And most of it was because they are deliberately ignoring the new nuclear that's available. It is so safe. It doesn't burn uranium. It burns thorium. We could convert coal mines into thorium mines. It would be considerably safer. It's cheaper. It only takes 5 to 6 years to build one of these nuclear reactors. And you will never have a meltdown because it doesn't burn uranium. But they don't want it. Why? Because there's no money in it.
Yeah. Well, my
always comes back to that, though.
Yeah, I'll follow that money.
Where's the money? Yeah.
See, I believe that. Here I go. Here's the old conspiracy theorist. But I really believe this. Among the woke left, not our traditional Democrats, a vanishing breed as they may be, the woke left, I believe, has this very crazy, very destructive ideology that we should all be urbanized. There should not be anything called rural America. Agriculture's messing up the environment. That belongs someplace else. We should be eating Bill Gates synthetic beef. And yeah, exactly.
All right. Not that bad.
And because then you get everyone urbanized, then for them the problem's solved because everybody's got to use mass transit. And I really believe that. I think there's a war on rural America, small towns, the middle class, small business owners that live in the heartland. And I think clearly when you see the policies come down the line one by one, every one of those lends itself to credence to that theory that I have. It's they believe that okay, so what? You can't afford. You're not going to need a car. Electric cars, the grid can't. They're not. They're not increasing the capacity of the grid because the end game is to be in cities where you use mass transit. You all jump on subways, and that's
they watch Star Trek like it's a documentary. Like it's a documentary. supposed to be, and because they were raised in a millennial generation.
Damn it, Jim! I'm a doctor, not a busboy.
That's gold. That's gold right there, Laura.
All right, Laura. Thank you for tuning. Appreciate it. We're running out of time. You have just been golden here on Free for All Friday. Appreciate you so much.
I love you.
I love you too. Oh boy. Well, fellas, we got 1 minute and
your urbanization conspiracy theory is not really a conspiracy theory because I've read and heard the same thing.
Do you?
Yep.
To me, it's obvious.
It's to move everyone into large urban areas because what can you do? Number one,
control them.
Exactly. You have total control. Now, if you take away their mode to get out of there, listen, how about this theory? Another conspiracy theory. Ban all fossil fuel vehicles in 10 years.
That's what they're doing in California.
What if you do that?
Yeah. Well, the old saying, it's not paranoia if they're really after you. Right? Guillermo Triple G. We're going to go grab us some grub here. Going to have lunch with the boss here. Rapid Robert, Bullet Bob. I love you, man. I love you, man. And you folks out there listening and watching, love you so much. I'm having the time of my life on this show, and it's all because of you. God bless you. God bless America. And just remember, do your best. Let God do the rest, and it's going to turn out exactly like it's supposed to. Love you. Bye-bye now.